The vast observation chamber aboard the Centauri Alliance's flagship hummed with nervous energy as hundreds of alien diplomats gathered for an emergency session. The metallic walls, lined with shimmering displays of star charts and data streams, reflected the tense atmosphere among the assembled representatives. Admiral Jinho Park stood before the massive holographic display, his weathered face illuminated by the soft blue glow of Earth's rotating image. His silver uniform, adorned with the markings of the Alliance's highest military rank, seemed to absorb the ambient light as he moved through his presentation. "Let me show you something disturbing," he said, his voice carrying across the chamber. With a wave of his hand, the hologram transformed into a timeline of human technological advancement. "Look at this progression carefully." The display showed Earth's journey from simple radio signals to advanced computing in just over a century. Murmurs of concern rippled through the assembled aliens as they watched humanity leap from primitive combustion engines to the threshold of quantum technology in what seemed like the blink of an eye. Counselor Hawan Li leaned forward in her seat, her scaled fingers tapping against the smooth surface of her console. As the representative of the Centauri Alliance's most powerful faction, her opinion carried significant weight. The light caught the iridescent patterns on her face as she studied the data with growing concern. "This is unprecedented," she announced, rising from her seat. The chamber fell silent as all eyes turned to her. "In all our recorded history, no species has ever advanced at such a rate. It took the Centauri Alliance 5 millennia to achieve quantum stability. These humans," she paused, gesturing at the display, "they're on track to reach that level in less than a century." Development Officer Sumin Kang, known for his cautious approach to emerging civilizations, activated his communication panel. The elderly alien's tentacles waved in agitation as he spoke. "The implications are clear. If we allow this unchecked advancement to continue, they could surpass our technological level within their own lifetimes. The potential for destabilization is enormous." Admiral Park nodded gravely and switched the display to show Earth's military developments. "They've already developed weapons we hadn't conceived of at their technological level. Their creative approach to problem-solving makes them unpredictable. And now, they're beginning to look to the stars." The chamber erupted in concerned discussions as representatives from various systems debated the implications. Some argued for immediate containment, while others suggested more diplomatic approaches. The noise grew until Counselor Li raised her hand for silence. "We've seen this pattern before," she reminded them. "The Proxima incident nearly destroyed 3 systems when we allowed an emerging civilization to advance too quickly. We cannot risk another such catastrophe." The voting process was swift and decisive. Green lights flickered across the chamber as member after member supported the motion for intervention. Admiral Park watched the unanimous decision with a mixture of relief and concern. He knew the humans wouldn't accept restrictions easily, but the alternative, allowing them unrestricted development, seemed far more dangerous. Senior Envoy Dae-Sung Kim was summoned to the chamber. His reputation for handling difficult diplomatic situations made him the obvious choice for first contact. He studied the briefing materials with growing interest as Admiral Park explained the mission. "We need to approach this carefully," Kim said, reviewing the cultural data. "Humans are proud and independent. They won't accept restrictions without resistance. Then we must make them understand the consequences of refusal." Counselor Li interjected. "Prepare your team, Envoy Kim. You have 1 standard cycle to make contact and present our terms." As the chamber began to empty, Admiral Park pulled Kim aside. "Be careful with this species," he warned. "There's something about them that doesn't quite fit our usual patterns. They're different somehow." Kim nodded, but his confidence was evident. After all, he had handled first contact with dozens of emerging civilizations. How different could these humans really be? As the diplomatic team prepared their ships for the journey to Earth, none of them noticed the small anomaly in their quantum readings, a tiny fluctuation that suggested humanity might be even more advanced than they realized. It would be the first of many overlooked warnings that would eventually lead to one of the greatest miscalculations in the history of the Centauri Alliance. The massive ships powered up their engines, their quantum drives humming with energy as they prepared to make the jump to Earth's solar system. The mission to contain humanity's rapid advancement was about to begin, but the outcome would be far different from anything the Alliance could have predicted. The Grand Assembly Hall in Geneva fell silent as the massive alien ships appeared in the sky above the city. Their arrival cast long shadows over the historic buildings, a physical representation of the darkness that had fallen over humanity's future. The United Earth Council members watched through the tall windows as smaller vessels descended, their sleek surfaces reflecting the morning sun. Senior Envoy Dae-Sum Kim stood before the assembled human leaders, his tall, otherworldly form towering over the podium. The metallic sheen of his diplomatic uniform caught the light as he moved, creating patterns that drew every eye in the room. "This is non-negotiable," he stated, his translated voice filling the chamber. "Your species advances too quickly. It poses a threat to galactic stability. You must accept our oversight and restrictions, or face complete isolation behind our barrier technology." President Han Jae-choi stood at her podium, her knuckles white from gripping its edges. Years of diplomatic experience helped her maintain a calm expression, but inside, her mind raced with possibilities. Behind her, Defense Minister Ta Woo Park carefully activated his quantum tablet, disguising it as a simple note-taking device while recording every detail of the alien technology on display. "You come to our world," President Choi responded, her voice steady, demanding we halt our progress. "What gives you this right?" The alien envoy's expression remained unchanged. "We have overseen the development of countless civilizations. This is for your own protection, as much as galactic stability." As the confrontation unfolded in Geneva, deep beneath the streets of Seoul, in the basement labs of the Korean Advanced Science Institute, Dr. Jae-Yun Song hunched over her quantum resonance scanner. The device hummed softly as it analyzed the energy signatures from the alien ships overhead. "There's something odd about these readings," she muttered, adjusting the scanner settings. Her colleague, Dr. Min-Ki Lee, leaned over her shoulder, his eyes widening as he saw the patterns emerging on the screen. "The pattern," she whispered, excitement creeping into her voice. "Look at these energy fluctuations. There's a fundamental flaw in their barrier technology." Back in Geneva, the alien envoy activated a holographic display, showing the proposed barrier that would enclose Earth's solar system. "This technology has contained numerous civilizations. It is completely impenetrable and will remain in place until we determine you are ready for unrestricted development." Defense Minister Park's tablet silently recorded every frequency, every energy signature the aliens unknowingly displayed. His years of military intelligence training helped him maintain a passive expression, while his device gathered crucial data. In the Seoul lab, Dr. Song began running simulations. Their entire containment system relies on stable quantum fields, she explained to Dr. Lee, pointing to specific parts of the data stream. "But look here, they're using a standardized frequency pattern." They never considered that quantum fields could be deliberately destabilized. "You're saying we could break their barrier?" Dr. Lee asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Not just break it," Dr. Song replied, her eyes shining with discovery. "We could potentially create a cascading failure that would affect all their quantum-based technology." The Geneva meeting continued as the alien envoy outlined the restrictions. No more quantum research, limited space exploration, controlled technological development. Each demand felt like another nail in humanity's coffin. President Choi maintained her diplomatic composure, but her mind was already formulating plans. "We will need time to consider your proposals," she said carefully. "Such significant changes to human development require careful consideration." The alien envoy inclined his head slightly. "You have 1 Earth week to provide your answer. Remember, this is not a negotiation. It is an ultimatum." As the meeting concluded, Defense Minister Park quietly transmitted the recorded data to secure servers around the world. Within hours, scientists like Dr. Song and Dr. Lee would be analyzing every detail, looking for weaknesses, searching for hope. The aliens departed as dramatically as they had arrived, their ships rising silently into the sky. They left behind a world in turmoil, but also a world united in secret determination. In labs and military installations across the globe, humans began working together, sharing data, testing theories. Dr. Song worked through the night, her excitement growing as each new test confirmed her initial findings. The aliens' technology, for all its advancement, had a critical weakness. They had never faced a species that developed quantum technology in such an unusual way. Human innovation, born of their rapid advancement, had led them down paths the aliens had never considered. As dawn broke over Seoul, Dr. Song finally looked up from her work, a smile spreading across her face. The aliens thought they were containing a primitive species. Instead, they had just challenged humanity to do what it did best: find a way to overcome impossible odds. Hidden beneath the ancient volcanic peak of Mount Pektu, a secret facility buzzed with frantic energy. The deep underground labs, carved into solid rock, housed some of humanity's brightest minds working against an impossible deadline. While the world above put on a show of debate and indecision for their alien visitors, the real work happened in shadows. Dr. Jai-Yun Song stood before a massive quantum interference array, its blue-white glow casting strange shadows on the reinforced walls. Her team had worked for 5 straight days, stopping only when exhaustion threatened to compromise their calculations. The dark circles under their eyes testified to their dedication. "Run the simulation again," she ordered, her voice hoarse from too many hours of discussions. "Adjust the frequency by 0.03%. The massive screens lining the lab walls lit up with cascading data. Energy patterns shifted and flowed like digital rivers, each one representing a potential weakness in the aliens' supposedly impenetrable technology. Commander Yumho Ryo entered the lab, accompanied by Chief Scientist Do-Hyun Kang. The military officer's presence added gravity to the already tense atmosphere. His uniform, bearing the newly created Earth Defense Force insignia, seemed out of place among the scientists' casual attire. "Show me what you found," Commander Ryu said, his eyes fixed on the dancing patterns of light. Dr. Song activated the main holographic display, bringing up a 3-dimensional model of the alien barrier technology. "Their entire technological framework depends on stable quantum fields," she explained, highlighting specific sections of the projection. "They've been using this technology for thousands of years, refining it to near perfection. But perfection has made them predictable," added Dr. Min-Ki Lee from his workstation. "Every system they use follows the same basic quantum principles." Commander Ryu leaned forward, his interest clearly piqued. "And our new quantum interference technology could disrupt their entire network," Chief Scientist Kang finished, pointing to a simulation running on a side screen. "They never considered that quantum fields could be deliberately destabilized. It's like they built the perfect lock, but never imagined someone would attack the door itself." The simulation showed waves of energy rippling through the alien barrier, creating cascading failures that spread like cracks in glass. Each failure point triggered others, multiplying the effect exponentially. "How confident are you in these results?" Commander Ryu asked, studying the data with intense focus. Dr. Song walked to a sealed chamber in the corner of the lab. Inside, a small-scale version of the alien barrier technology hummed softly, maintained by captured energy signatures from the alien ships. "We've tested it 15 times, she said, activating their prototype interference device. "Watch." The miniature barrier flickered, then collapsed completely as waves of quantum interference washed through it. The effect was beautiful in its destructive efficiency. "The best part," Dr. Lee added, "is that they won't see it coming. Their monitoring systems are designed to detect stable quantum fields. Our interference patterns will look like background noise until it's too late." Commander Ryu nodded slowly, years of military experience helping him grasp the strategic implications. How long until you can scale this up? We need 3 more days to finish the full-scale prototypes, Dr. Song replied. We're building them in segments to avoid detection. The alien surveillance can't penetrate this deep into the mountain, but we're not taking chances. In another corner of the lab, technicians assembled components that looked deceptively simple. When combined, they would form a network of quantum interference generators capable of challenging the most advanced civilization humanity had ever encountered. The world governments are stalling for time, Commander Ryu informed them. The aliens seem to be growing impatient. We need this ready before they decide to act unilaterally. Dr. Song looked at her team, seeing the same determination reflected in every face. We'll be ready, she promised. They thought they were containing a primitive species. Instead, they'd given us the key to their undoing. The commander allowed himself a small smile. Keep working. I'll inform the Joint Command that Operation Breakthrough remains on schedule. As he left, the scientists returned to their tasks with renewed energy. In labs like this one, hidden beneath mountains, beneath oceans, and in abandoned mines across the globe, humanity prepared its response to the alien ultimatum. The public debates above ground served their purpose, keeping their visitors focused on diplomatic channels while the real work continued in secret. Dr. Song checked her watch, marking another hour in their race against time. Soon, very soon, the aliens would learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its technology, but in its ability to think differently, to find solutions where others saw only obstacles. The quantum interference device hummed quietly in its testing chamber, a simple machine that would change the balance of power in the galaxy. The surface of the moon offered a perfect view of humanity's impending imprisonment. Captain Mayray Park stood at the reinforced windows of Luna Base's observation deck, watching as hundreds of alien ships moved into position around Earth's solar system. Their massive vessels glowed with otherworldly energy as they began constructing the containment barrier. Beautiful, in a terrifying way, her second-in-command whispered, tracking the geometric patterns forming between the ships. The barrier looked like a giant spider web made of light, each strand pulsing with quantum energy as it spread across space. Through her enhanced visor, Captain Park monitored the energy readings. The aliens worked with precise coordination, each ship adding its section to the growing lattice. They moved with the confidence of a species that had performed this operation many times before. Status update from Earth Command, the communications officer announced. Operation Breakthrough is in final position. All stations report ready. Captain Park acknowledged with a slight nod, keeping her eyes fixed on the alien construction project. Years of military training helped her maintain a calm exterior, but her heart raced with anticipation. Everything depended on the next few hours. Deep beneath Mount Pektu, Dr. Jai-Yun Song made final adjustments to the quantum interference device. The machine hummed softly, its power barely contained by the reinforced chambers. Around her, technicians monitored streams of data, each person aware of their role in humanity's greatest gambit. All interference nodes report ready, Technician Jun Seo Lee announced, his fingers hovering over the activation controls. Global network synchronized. Dr. Song took a deep breath, remembering all the simulations, all the tests that led to this moment. Send the signal, she ordered, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Jun Seo's fingers danced across the controls. Across the planet, hidden quantum interference devices activated simultaneously. Their effect was subtle at first, almost undetectable against the background noise of space. Aboard the alien command ship, Admiral Jin-Ho Park observed the barrier's construction with satisfaction. Centuries of experience had taught the Centauri Alliance how to contain developing civilizations. This barrier would stand for decades, ensuring humanity developed along approved paths. The first warning sign appeared as a slight shimmer in the barrier's eastern quadrant. A junior officer reported the anomaly, but Admiral Park dismissed it with a wave. Normal variance, he declared. The quantum fields always fluctuate during initial construction. But the fluctuations didn't stop. They grew stronger, spreading through the barrier like ripples in a pond. On Luna Base, Captain Park watched through her visor as the perfect geometric patterns began to waver. Energy destabilization detected in multiple sectors, the alien command ship's systems reported. Admiral Park frowned, finally giving the disturbance his full attention. This was not normal variance. In her underground lab, Dr. Song watched the data streams with growing excitement. "It's working," she announced. "The cascade effect is beginning." The quantum interference spread faster now, each disruption triggering others in a chain reaction. The barrier's light show transformed from elegant geometry into chaos. Sections began to fade and flicker like failing neon signs. Admiral Park barked orders to his fleet, but it was too late. The carefully calibrated quantum fields that powered their technology began to destabilize. Ship after ship reported systems failures as the interference spread beyond the barrier. "Full power to containment fields," he ordered, but the command came too late. The barrier's collapse accelerated, sections disappearing into space like smoke in the wind. On Luna Base, Captain Park allowed herself a small smile as she watched the alien's perfect creation fall apart. "Send word to Earth Command," she ordered. "Operation Breakthrough is succeeding. The barrier is failing." Beneath the mountain, Dr. Song's team erupted in cheers as their monitors showed the barrier's complete collapse. Their quantum interference had worked better than they dared hope, not just destroying the barrier but affecting the alien ships as well. Admiral Park watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet hung powerless in space, their quantum technology rendered useless by an interference pattern they'd never encountered before. The species they dismissed as primitive had just demolished their most advanced containment system. "Signal from Earth," his communications officer reported, voice shaking. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies." The message that followed would be remembered for centuries to come, marking the moment when humanity announced its refusal to be contained. But for now, as the last pieces of the barrier faded from existence, the aliens faced a stunning reality. They had severely underestimated the species they sought to control. Captain Park watched from her lunar vantage point as Earth's hidden fleet emerged from its concealment, ships powered by technology the aliens had never imagined. The containment of humanity had failed before it truly began, and the galaxy would never be the same. The command center beneath the Rocky Mountains thrummed with tension as Commander Yumho Ryu stood before the global operations display. Hundreds of blinking lights represented humanity's hidden quantum transmitters, carefully placed over the past week, while the aliens focused on diplomatic meetings. "All stations report final status," he ordered, his voice carrying the weight of humanity's future. One by one, locations around the world confirmed their readiness. From the depths of the Mariana Trench to hidden facilities in the Sahara, humanity's response to alien containment waited for his command. "This is Commander Ryu." He spoke into the secure global channel, his words reaching every hidden facility simultaneously. "Execute Operation Breakthrough. Authorization code: Prometheus Rising." Across Earth, quantum transmitters powered up in perfect synchronization. Their energy signatures, carefully designed to appear as background radiation, began to pulse in a complex pattern that would shatter the aliens' supposedly impenetrable technology. In her underground command post, Dr. Jai-Yun Song watched the cascade of data across her monitors. Years of research had led to this moment. The quantum interference pattern spread outward from Earth like an invisible tide, reaching toward the alien barrier. First wave contact in 3, 2, 1. She counted down, holding her breath. The monitors exploded with activity as the interference pattern met the alien barrier. Lieutenant Ji-Ho Kim, stationed in a stealth observation post high in the Himalayas, watched through advanced telescopes as the first effects became visible. The barrier, which had looked like a perfect geometric web of light stretching across space, began to shimmer strangely. "Zone 1 showing initial destabilization," he reported excitedly. "The pattern is holding exactly as predicted." In orbit, alien ships began reporting unexpected fluctuations in their quantum field generators. Their crews, confident in technology that had contained countless civilizations, were slow to recognize the danger. By the time alarms began blaring across their fleet, the cascade effect had already taken hold. Dr. Song's fingers flew across her control panel, adjusting the interference pattern to maximize its impact. "The barrier is beginning to fracture," she announced, her voice tight with concentration, increasing power to secondary transmitters. Commander Ryu watched the main display as sections of the alien barrier began to break apart like shattered glass. Each failure triggered others, creating a chain reaction that spread faster than the aliens could respond. Their mighty ships, suddenly stripped of their quantum technology, began drifting helplessly in space. "It's working." Lieutenant Kim's voice cracked with excitement as he watched through his telescope. The entire northern quadrant just collapsed. The alien command channel erupted with panic as ship after ship reported critical systems failures. Their quantum-based technology, the foundation of their civilization's power, was being unraveled by frequencies they had never encountered before. In her lab, Dr. Song allowed herself a moment of pride as she watched the aliens' perfect barrier dissolve into nothingness. The months of secret preparation, the sleepless nights of calculations, had all led to this moment. Humanity had found the flaw in their oppressor's armor. "Launch Phase 2. Commander Ryu ordered, his voice steady despite the excitement building in his chest. Across Earth, hidden hangars opened to reveal humanity's own fleet of ships, powered by revolutionary technology developed in secret. The alien admiral watched in disbelief as Earth's vessels rose from their concealment, their engines running on principles his scientists had never imagined. His mighty fleet, reduced to drifting hulks by the quantum disruption, could only watch as humanity revealed its true capabilities. Lieutenant Kim's hands shook as he documented everything through his observation post cameras. "The alien ships are completely powerless," he reported. "Not a single quantum system is still functioning." Dr. Song's monitors showed the complete collapse of the alien barrier, their containment system reduced to scattered energy that dissipated harmlessly into space. "Operation Breakthrough successful," she announced formally, though her voice couldn't quite hide her triumph. Commander Ryu nodded slowly, allowing himself a small smile. The aliens had thought they were dealing with a primitive species that needed to be contained. Instead, they had pushed humanity to achieve what they thought impossible, the complete defeat of their most advanced technology. As Earth's fleet moved into position around the helpless alien ships, humanity prepared to show the galaxy that they would never accept containment. The age of human expansion into the stars was about to begin, and it would happen on humanity's terms. The Global Communications Center in Geneva hummed with energy as technicians prepared for humanity's most important broadcast. The massive array of quantum transmitters, hidden beneath the facade of a regular broadcast facility, powered up silently. These weren't the simple radio waves the aliens expected from Earth. This was technology they had never imagined possible. President Han Joy-Choi stood before the transmission array, her formal attire a stark contrast to the military personnel and scientists rushing around her. The weight of the moment showed in her eyes, but her posture remained straight and proud. Behind her, the main screen showed the disabled alien fleet drifting helplessly in space. "Signal strength at maximum," the lead technician reported. "We're broadcasting on all known frequencies, including their quantum channels. Every ship in the galaxy will receive this message." President Choi nodded, took a deep breath, and began speaking. Her voice, translated simultaneously into every known alien language, carried the strength of humanity's unified resolve. "To the Galactic Council," she began, each word measured and clear. "You came to our world with demands and threats. You claimed the right to contain us, to limit our growth, to decide our fate. Today, you learn the cost of that arrogance." In orbit, the alien ship's crews watched helplessly as their screens displayed the human leader's message. Their mighty quantum technologies, supposedly beyond human understanding, lay useless around them. "You thought us primitive," President Choi continued, her voice growing stronger. You believed your technology was beyond our comprehension. Yet in mere days, we have reduced your impenetrable barrier to nothing. Your ships drift powerless in our space. From hidden shipyards carved into Mars' polar ice caps, humanity's first deep space fleet emerged. Their hulls gleamed with a strange, shifting pattern that made them almost invisible to conventional sensors. Commander Yumho Ryu's voice crackled over the secured channel as his flagship led the formation. "All ships, execute deployment pattern Alpha," he ordered. "Show them exactly what humanity can do." The fleet moved with perfect precision, their quantum-shielded engines leaving no trace for alien sensors to detect. They passed through the remnants of the failing barrier like ghosts, proving definitively that humanity had mastered technology the aliens thought impossible. To the Galactic Council, President Choi's voice rang out again. "You have sealed your fate, not through strength, but through your own blind arrogance. You assumed we would accept containment. Instead, you forced us to surpass you." In the Geneva control room, Dr. Jai-Yun Song watched the power readings with satisfaction. Their broadcast was reaching every corner of known space, carried by the aliens' own quantum communication network. The message of humanity's triumph would echo across the galaxy. The alien admiral watched in stunned silence as Earth's ships appeared seemingly from nowhere, their technology operating on principles his scientists couldn't begin to understand. His mighty fleet, once the pride of the Galactic Council, now floated helpless before a species they had tried to cage. "We offer you one chance," President Choi declared, her words carrying both warning and opportunity. "Recognize humanity as equals. Remove all restrictions, and we will share our discoveries. Continue to threaten us, and we will demonstrate just how far humanity has advanced while you weren't watching." Commander Ryu's fleet took up position around the disabled alien ships, their presence a clear demonstration of Earth's new power. The quantum shielding that made them nearly invisible rippled like water in sunlight, a testament to human innovation. "The choice is yours," President Choi concluded. "But remember this moment. Remember that humanity will never accept chains, no matter how advanced the being that forges them." As her message ended, the quantum transmitters powered down, leaving an eerie silence in the Geneva facility. In space, Earth's fleet maintained their positions, a silent reminder that the balance of power had shifted permanently. The alien admiral, watching helplessly from his powerless flagship, realized with growing dread that they had made a terrible mistake. In trying to contain humanity, they had instead created something unprecedented, a species that had leaped centuries ahead in mere days, driven by the very threat meant to stop them. President Choi turned from the broadcast array, her expression showing both pride and determination. Humanity had announced its presence to the galaxy not as a primitive species to be contained, but as a force that had earned its place among the stars. Darkness filled most of the once majestic Galactic Council chamber, with only emergency lighting casting long shadows across the ornate walls. The mighty quantum generators that once powered this center of galactic civilization lay silent, disabled by humanity's interference technology. Through the giant viewing windows, the stars seemed somehow brighter, as if celebrating the change in power. Counselor Hadawan Lee sat at the head of the dimly lit chamber, her scaled features reflecting the minimal light. Before her stood the human delegation, led by President Han Jo-choi and Dr. Jai-Yun Song. The contrast between their positions now and during their first meeting couldn't have been more stark. "We underestimated you," Counselor Lee admitted, her voice carrying notes of both respect and resignation. "Humanity's understanding of quantum physics has surpassed our own. In our arrogance, we never imagined this possible." Dr. Song stepped forward, her simple Earth uniform standing out against the elaborate alien architecture. "Perhaps," she replied, her voice firm but not unkind, "you should have offered cooperation instead of containment. Humanity has always achieved more through collaboration than through force." Admiral Jin Ho Park, now representing the humbled Centauri fleet, nodded slowly. "Your quantum interference technology, it shouldn't have been possible. Our scientists still can't understand how you developed it so quickly." President Choi smiled diplomatically. "Human innovation thrives under pressure. Your threat of containment united our world in ways we never expected. Every nation, every scientist, worked together with a single purpose." The treaty negotiations began in earnest. Representatives from Earth's various nations sat alongside alien delegates from across the galaxy. The humans' quantum tablets functioned perfectly, while the aliens relied on emergency backup systems, a constant reminder of the new balance of power. "We propose an exchange," President Choi announced. "We will share our quantum breakthrough technology, helping to advance all species. In return, Earth demands recognition as a full and equal member of the galactic community, with all restrictions lifted." Commander Young-Ho Ryu, standing guard near the human delegation, watched as the aliens discussed among themselves. Their once mighty civilization had been humbled not by force of arms, but by human ingenuity and determination. "We accept these terms," Counselor Lee finally declared. "The containment barrier will be permanently dismantled. Earth will have unrestricted access to all galactic trade routes and information networks." Dr. Song activated a holographic display, showing the principles behind humanity's quantum breakthrough. The alien scientists in attendance leaned forward, their eyes wide as they witnessed technology that rewrote their understanding of physics. "This is just the beginning," Dr. Song explained. "Our research has opened doors you never knew existed. Together, we could explore realms of science previously thought impossible." The treaty that emerged from these negotiations reshaped the galaxy's power structure. Earth wasn't just accepted as an equal, it became a leader in technological innovation. Human scientists, working alongside alien researchers, pushed the boundaries of what was possible. As the final documents were signed, President Choi looked out at the star-filled sky. Humanity's ships, still invisible to conventional sensors, patrolled the space around the council chamber. They were no longer just a species to be contained. They had become a force that would help guide the galaxy into a new era. "Let this be remembered," she announced to the assembled delegates, "not as the day humanity proved its power, but as the day we all learned to work together. The stars await us all." The emergency lights flickered briefly, then stabilized. In that moment, everyone present understood that the galaxy had changed forever. Humanity's drive to explore, to innovate, and to overcome any obstacle had opened a new chapter in galactic history. The age of human expansion into the stars had begun, not through conquest or subjugation, but through the very thing the aliens had tried to prevent: humanity's relentless advancement and determination to reach for the impossible.